WWE 2K17 is on the horizon. They're saying that scanning has begun for superstar models, and we're going to start getting rumors on who's going to be in the game. It's going to be all fine and dandy. We're going to have a huge roster. Are we going to have the largest roster of all time like we had last year? I don't know. It depends on the direction they go with the game. Now let's talk about some things, because this is what always pops up when WWE 2K17 is around the corner, is wish lists. What we want to see in the game. I will make some videos. I will let you know wish lists and things that I actually want to see in WWE 2K17. And I will give you realistic wish lists. I will give you far-fetched wish lists. But before we get into all of that wish list stuff, I want to talk about WWE 2K Showcase. And I'm going to get some flack from some people on here, and some people aren't going to like this, but I'm going to spill my whole honest truth on WWE 2K Showcase. And I'm even going to say that, well, let me just talk about this, okay? Let's break it down like this. When I go out to the play test of the WWE 2K games, I say, hey, can I tell you what I really think about the game and what I would like to see in the game? And they go, yes. If we didn't want to hear your opinion, we wouldn't invite you out to this playtest. We wouldn't get you out there. Now, I suggest all these things. I say all these cool things, but likely that it is not going to be in the game because they already have the direction of the game that they want to go. Maybe they've heard some of our ideas. They listen to the community. I don't know what's on their agenda. There's a whole big process that goes into making these games. So what I say can't necessarily change the game. Now, I do think that WWE 2K16 is a great game. It looks great. It plays great. The feel of the game is awesome, and it just makes a unique feel, and they're actually getting a really good next-gen game. I think either next year or a year down the road, we're going to have what's going to be one of the best wrestling games ever. The problem I see is that WWE 2K Showcase is not a good single-player mode. I don't like it, and I will tell you why. First off, there is no replayability in that mode. Once I play 2K Showcase, I am done. I never touch it again. I like the DLC where they give you more showcases. That's fine. It's cool. It gives you something else to play after you completed all the other ones. But once I beat 2K Showcase, I'm actually just done with that, and I don't ever go back and play it again. And that's because there's no change in the showcase. You could give me the Invasion Showcase. You could give me WWF versus WCW Showcase. Yeah, it would be kind of fun, but once I complete it, I'm not going to go back and play it. I mean, I get the fact that it's cool for some fans who have never lived those moments. They didn't know what Stone Cold's career was about, so they can go back and play that. Or if we got an Invasion type or a WWF WCW one, that would be cool to go back and actually play that. But I don't think that there's any replayability. It's a one-off type of series. 2K Showcase is that. You play it, and you're done. That single-player mode is passé. It is not what we want in a single-player experience for the game. Yes, there is My Career, which we'll get into that in another video. But I will say that 2K Showcase is not the single-player career... Not career, because My Career is different, but story that we want. Okay, single player story mode. That's what we're going for. Single player story mode. Not My Career, because that's different. The single player story mode that needs to be in the game is not 2K Showcase. What needs to happen is they need to go back to No Mercy style. No, I'm not going to say you need to recreate No Mercy because it was the best game of all time. Yeah, would I love to see that? Of course I would love to see that. That would be an amazing game if they remade No Mercy and then they just put it on the Wii U or the new Nintendo system that's coming out. That would be awesome. Just get an updated roster, same engine. I'm fine with that, but that's never going to happen. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about their branching story mode. This is what we need for a game. You actually can go through different paths on a set championship story mode. One of the coolest things about that story mode was that you didn't actually have to win the match for the story to go the way it did. There was different options. Some of them, you had to win the match to progress in a certain story, but there was times where you could lose and the story would go on a different path. It was branching storylines that need to be in this. Now, one of the things they could do is if they want to relive history, if they want to do that sort of thing, you could take like a storyline from the previous year, put it in, like, say, the Intercontinental Championship or the U.S. Championship. Let's take the U.S. Championship, okay? Let's say that we want to recreate John Cena's U.S. Championship where he was doing the open challenges and all that fun stuff, right? That's a cool concept right there. What you do is you take John Cena, you have him win the U.S. Championship, and then once he wins that championship, you actually go on to have the branching story for that U.S. Championship. It is perfect. It is great. It works just fine. Exactly how you want to do it. It plays out. You win the match. You can keep the championship. You go on, and that's how it works. And if you lose, well, you're no longer champion, and then the story branches off into a different direction. You can have a linear thing or a semi-linear thing, or I'm just trying to think how they would do it. But you could have a beginning, a middle, and an end to all these branches. So you can make like 3 or 4 branches off the story. If you don't win, you can it's very, very simple, right? You start with the U.S. Championship. If John Cena is the U.S. champion, you start with the U.S. Championship. You defend it all the way down until the end, and then you keep it. Or you lose it, you go over here, and you have to win these next matches to try and get it back, or you lose it and you get into a different story. So there's 3 different options there. It's a very, very simple but effective way to do it, because I think if you lose the matches, the story will be just good and just as good. Just look at it, right? 2K Showcase, this is how it works. You know what happened. You already watched it on television. You've already seen it played out, right? If you've seen Stone Cold's career, if you watched any Stone Cold DVD, you will know that Stone Cold's career went like this, and then he had a match here, and then he did this match, and then he did that, and then he went here, and then he did that, and then that's it. So that was Stone Cold's career, but you've already seen it, so you already know how it's going to play out. Yes, oh yeah, I remember his match at WrestleMania 17 with The Rock. Of course I know how it plays out. Oh, I got to do this objective. Of course I know. Of course. That's how it works out. But it's so predictable and so obvious that you've already seen it. And the thing with the 2K Showcase is that I think they do a really great job. I'm not going to take anything away from anybody there. I think they do a phenomenal job on the way that they do it, the way they mix in the cutscenes, the stories, all that fun stuff, the objectives. But I've already seen it. I already know how it plays out. So why wouldn't I just watch it on the WWE Network instead of playing it out? Yeah, it's cool. You get to do some objectives. But again, I usually spend like 5 seconds in a match just trying to get through it because I feel like it's something that I have to do, not something that I want to do. And if you had the story mode with the branching storylines, you could actually complete it one way, go back and play it again, and lose and complete a different branching in the story. It's very, very cool, and there's very different options that you could do. Again, I think they do a great job with 2K Showcase, but it's just not the mode that really needs to be the single player experience for the game. I'm sorry, but that's just not the way that it needs to go. It's just too linear, and there's not any replayability. I feel like they create it, they put it out there, and then they're done. It's like a copy and paste formula, right? They're like, okay, we'll slap on Stone Cold, we'll slap on The Rock, and then we'll have them do this objective, and then that's it, and we'll move on. We'll slap on Stone Cold, we'll slap on Vince McMahon, we'll have them do this match, and we'll move on. We'll slap on Stone Cold, we'll slap on Dude Love, here's the story, move on. And then after that, you're just done. It's done. I haven't gone back and played it since the game came out. And it's sad because it's a very, very well put together, but it just doesn't have that replayability. What we need is a story mode with branching stories that will let us go to different story lines, story arcs of different characters. You can even do some fantasy stuff that fans want to see, some cool things that we will never see in WWE, or you can relive some stuff in the past. Like I said, if you want to do the John Cena US title run, you could do that. If you want to make up a cool storyline where Kevin Owens goes for the WWE Championship and fights Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, I don't know. It's an idea. You could do whatever you want, but there's always branching options, and I think something like this would be very, very cool, and you can make it really, really long. And again, you win or you lose, things change depending on that. And some of them, you know, if you want it to end a certain way, you say you must win this match to get to the next point. and you have like 3 tries. If not, you go back a step or something. So there's all these kind of cool things I think that needs to happen, and I think that 2K Showcase needs to be phased out just because there's no replayability on it. And if you want to keep a game, you want to give a yearly title, you need to have replayability on a single player experience like that. I know there's My Career, which I will get into in another video, but let me know what you think about branching storylines in a single player experience and 2K Showcase. Do you think it needs to be cut out of the game? Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. As always, Tony Beats Guy 2. Sweet!